Hello, hello, everyone, and happy Cinco de Mayo. Yes, we made it. Happy Wednesday. Nat, such happy weight music. I know I needed to have happy weight music. That's what I was looking for. So, yes, hey, thanks for joining me today. And if you are like Nat and you are joining me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on YouTube, make sure to drop me a comment, just like Nat did, and say hello. And yeah, let's get on with this. It's Wednesday, it's party time, it's margarita time. And today we're talking about, are you rushing through the process? And I want to share a quick story with you because I feel like this is the inspiration, right? A lot of the topics of the day that I bring forth are because I'm going through it in my own life, or it's something that happened, or it's a conversation that was sparked with a good friend like Nat, and I wanted to bring it to the surface. So earlier this weekend, we went to California. We were in San Diego for my son Caleb's soccer tournament. And hey, Luis, good to see you on LinkedIn. And so we went to San Diego. We're there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I don't know about you guys. So speaking to you guys that are on with me, biggest pet peeve. I want you to list it for me. Your biggest pet peeve, and I'm going to share mine. So my husband Sean is he's usually in the driver's seat, like let's just go. But he is the kind of guy that just wants to get in the car and just go. No plan, no where are we going. It's not on the GPS, and it's so frustrating to me. So I'm putting Sean on blast a little bit because what's frustrating to me is getting in the car, turning on the ignition, and just driving without a plan. And then missing your exit, having to backtrack, turning around, making U-turns because he doesn't know where he's going. He's rushing to get there, but he doesn't quite know where we're going. I don't know about you guys, but it just drives me absolutely crazy. And so when I'm talking about rushing through the process, Sean, are you getting in the driver's seat without a plan in place? Are you just trying to get to anywhere without actually knowing exactly where you're heading? And I know it drives me crazy. It drives the kids crazy. It's the same kind of thing of we're going out to eat on a Friday night, and we get in the car and I'm driving and I say, where are we going? I'd like to know where we're going because I can go north, south, east, west, wherever we're going. We could choose Italian, we could choose sushi, we could choose Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't really care. But if I don't know where we're going, it drives me absolutely crazy, crazy. And that's the same kind of thing. It's the biggest pet peeve that I have. And so when we talk about, are you rushing through the process? Do you actually have the clear plan in place of where you are heading? What is the destination spot that you're getting to? Because if you don't have that and you're just rushing there, you don't really have that clear plan. And you guys know this. It's something that, I'm sure you've seen on Pinterest boards and all sorts of inspirational quotes. But if you plan to fail, or if you fail to plan, here's how it goes. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Okay, Luis, he's saying here, have to stand by the husband crew. Okay. So Luis, that tells me that you're probably that same kind of guy where you're like, let's just get in the car and go. So the problem with that is we were in San Diego. I'm not all that familiar with the area, and we're missing the exit because we don't have it up on the GPS. So here's my solution is, could we just pull over to the side of the road first? Or better yet, before we even start the car, sit in the parking lot, put that in the GPS so we know exactly where we're, even knowing a couple of stops ahead of, okay, we know we're supposed to be on the I-5 North, we know we're supposed to get off here, we know we're supposed to be on this freeway, because it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy when you're driving and you're trying to figure it out as you drive the car. That's the problem with that. So same thing goes when you are rushing through the process. And I know a lot of business owners that they're doing that. They're rushing through the process. They don't really have a clear plan or clear destination. They're just like haphazardly doing things. And when you're rushing through the process, what tends to happen? What tends to happen? You're stressed out. Like I was stressed out driving with Sean. It's not a fun experience. You are making mistakes. So just like with us, we are having to flip the car around a couple times because we're not in the right place, or we have to, maneuver onto a different freeway. And then what? You have to take a step back. So instead, having that plan of this is what I'm going to do, and these are the steps I'm going to do to get there, is going to be so much more seamless. No stress, quality of life is better, and you know exactly where you're going. You're not having to make those mistakes that we sometimes make when we're rushing through the process. We're trying to just get there, get it done, and that's it. So the other thing I want to point out too is when you're rushing through the process, if you are putting that process in place, being realistic about what you can actually accomplish in that time, right? What can you accomplish? So again, it's setting realistic goals. I remember having Dr. Alice Kirby, she's big on LinkedIn. She was on our live stream with Nate and I on Casual Convo Friday, and she brought up a really great point one time. And she said women typically fall under this category, that we overestimate what we can do in one day and we underestimate what we can do in 30 days. So if you are rushing through the process, you probably are someone who's like, I have to put everything on my to-do list and get it all done. But what starts to happen if you're rushing through? You're making mistakes, you're probably frazzled, stressed out, irritable, getting on other people's cases who are trying to remain calm because you're like, I have to just get it done. But maybe the quality is also suffering, you're making mistakes and so on. So I'm going to read a couple of these comments here. Nat, Diane, hold on one second. Diane, wait, I'm getting my controls here mixed up. Okay, Nat, nobody sets out planning to fail, but sometimes priorities, too many, or time, not enough, or self-discipline, lack of, results in our failing to plan, which can make all this difference between success and failure. I agree with this statement too, because it's not that we don't have a plan in place, it's that a lot of us just like Sean, jump in the car and let's go. Well, where are we going? I have no idea. We'll figure it out. This is my favorite. I'll just share this with you. Yes, Luis always saying, on a serious note, you must always have a plan. I don't believe in just winging it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe in winging it. So we were leaving one of my son's soccer tournament on Saturday. And my husband is kind of one of those hangry people. Like I always have to have a Snickers bar because I know he gets hangry, right? I'm kidding, of course. But it's that same kind of, you know, if you fail to plan, you know, what's going to happen if you fail to plan, you don't know where you're going in life, right? And so we're leaving the soccer game. He's like, I'm starving. We need to figure it out. The kids are like, I want Chick-fil-A. I try to find Chick-fil-A on the map. It's out of our way. And he's like, that's not even on our way. Well, we'll just figure it out as we go. And sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you do. In fact, driving around, we got lucky and we found like a fish company. Like he wanted fish and we were like, all right, here it is right in front of us. But sometimes you don't get that way, right? Like it works out sometimes, but like Nat saying, sometimes it's the difference between success and failure, and you need to be planning and making sure that you're not rushing through that process. All right, I want to look at this too. Diane Berry. Hey, Diane, I wanted to just say something. You posted on one of my my posts yesterday, or it was on Monday, about the whole Fast and Furious and Letty. And let me just tell you, made my day. So this woman says to me on a comment that I could fill in for Letty in Fast and Furious. So thank you for that. It really made my day. It made me go, wow, I'm definitely working toward this. Like I'm working toward this goal. Another thing, I'm not rushing through the process. I realize it's going to take some work. I realize it's going to take some time to be able to transform and do all of that. Definitely not rushing through it. When you rush through it, what happens? You also get injured. All right, so let's see. Nat, having a strategy is about making sure you are in the driver's seat, no pun intended, with a clear vision of where it is you want to go, why you want to go there, and how you're going to turn your vision into reality, AKA your plan. Yes. And funny that you're mentioning that, Nat, because I am sharing a lot of like driver humor with Sean and it just drives me nuts. Like I am literally one of those like pull over, figure it out, and then drive versus let's drive and just like go crazy. And Diane even said it here, you know, you're short-tempered with everyone around you when you're stressed out. Like let's stop the chaos, let's stop the stress and just pull over for a little bit and make the plan. And then go with said plan. Not that plans can't change if you see a nice fish company that you want to eat at, but It's okay if plans change, but if you already have that plan in your head of where you want to go, it makes it that much easier. You're not stressed out, you're not making all those mistakes and so on. But I like what you're saying here now. I'm going to put it back up about, yes, having a strategy of where you want to go just makes the process more enjoyable too. You don't feel like you're just grasping at straws, hoping something works. The other thing I want to bring up is I'm having a lot of conversations with people who are coming to me saying that their business isn't really producing what it should. Their business isn't where they thought it would be. And I asked them, well, what are those strategies that you're putting in place? And if you're not having those strategies, or if you're only stuck on so many strategies that you're using and you're not seeing any real results, then it's time to switch up your strategy. It's time to switch up your process. I'm in that. I know several other people that are looking at their different processes and going, wow, I really need a better system because this isn't working for me. What do we talk about? The definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over and over. If you were like, I do all these things, but I'm not really getting anywhere with it, it's time to rediscover and switch up your process. So Abraham, I wanted to throw your quote up here. And I'd also add that we have too much to compare to by ourselves or other people. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. We could talk about this for days. The whole competitive and comparison of that person is so much further than I am. Why am I not there? Is my process broken? What are they doing differently? Well, I bet you that sometimes if you ask someone, like, what are you doing that is working for you? They would probably be more than happy to share. I'm just gonna say that. Like, I'm talking to a woman right now who was struggling a little bit with her process and asked me, well, what are you doing differently? And I'm happy to share, because if it helps you, awesome. I'm not in, competition with you. I'm in competition with myself. We're in competition with ourselves every single day. How are you progressing every single day? So again, Abraham, I know, fellow realtor here, he showed me a whole bunch of processes and he was like, this is what I do and this is what I do. And what you can do in talking to other people and saying, I would just love to know what's working for you, is to start to customize what will work better for you too. If you're not a social media person and you don't want to do it, or if you don't want to do video or whatever that is, then you can customize what will work for you. So you can start building that process, not rushing through the process, but building it. All right. Yes. Okay. Nat, you hit on a topic here. It's not about how much you do. It's about taking the time to give your best. And that was something that I wanted to share too, that when you are not rushing through the process, you get to take a step back. You get to look at everything in its entirety. You get to see, where is this going to take me? What are these goals that I'm going to hit? Are these realistic goals? And you have the time to be able to give it your all and give it your best. The problem is when we rush through a process, we're haphazardly doing it, or in other words, we're half-assing it, right? And do you want to do that? Do you want to be known as someone who's constantly making mistakes, or is not thorough, is not detailed? When you're sending things to clients, they're like, did you really look at this before you sent it to me? Or are you trying to just get things off your to-do list as fast as you possibly can? I know I've shared this quite a bit before, and this is just something I preach. It's something I practice. But people have always asked me, how do you live this harmonious life? Like, you seem to, get your workouts in. You seem to have all this family time. Like, you seem to end your day at a certain time. You don't work weekends, all of these things. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's how I design my life. It's how I want my life. And that's the same thing for everybody else. If you are that type that wants to just keep overloading your lists so that you never feel accomplished and you never feel like you're getting ahead and you're always stressed, or as Diane said, you're short-tempered, then maybe it's time to not rush through the process. Maybe it's time to take a few things that you need to be getting done and do them so dang well. Yeah, so that's it. I like that, Nat. Thank you so much for bringing that up about giving it your all and giving it your best. I think a lot of us are just trying to check off the boxes of done, I did this, but are we really satisfied with what we're producing and what we're putting out in the world? And if you're not, it's time to look at that again. It's time to go, okay, how do I take a step back, and how do I look at my process and just make sure that I'm doing things to the best of my ability, versus I'm just going to rush through this and hopefully it's okay, but it's not my best work. So another good food for thought there. Awesome, guys. Well, it is about 5 o'clock, and I know it's Cinco de Mayo, so I know you guys are just itching to like drink a margarita or go eat some tacos or something like that. So let me see. Nat, you have a comment. I want to make sure I get this up there. The long-term effects of rushing can be dangerous to our business, careers, and our health. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely is. Yeah, I've never been one to rush. I'll tell you that. Like, I was talking about this and I kind of got off track, but I always talk about the power of three. I'm really big into the power of three. I'm really big into scheduling my priorities as part of my day. I know we've talked about this on other live streams about time blocking, and people say I don't like time blocking, but scheduling is a big thing. And if you're not scheduling things into your day, you're rushing through it. You're missing things, your priorities aren't intact, and people see that, you see that, and your health, your business, your career, like that's greatly affected too. So I look at the power of three. I can count three. I haven't had that margarita yet. Three. But in looking at that, I love that every single day I'm like, done. My to-do list of 3 is done. I've done those things. I haven't overestimated what I can do in a day, and I've done it, and I feel super accomplished, and I can go on to the next day. I can rest a lot easier knowing that I've done the things that I've set out to do for today. We need to look at it of taking it into smaller chunks of today is today, tomorrow is tomorrow. I'm only going to focus on what's in front of me today versus just like, here's what's in front of me for the next 90 days to a year. All right, so Abraham, you have Abraham coming at me from LA, right? Abraham, you're in the LA area. Luis Melendez, you guys should talk. He's also in the LA area. People asking for you to rush are people whom have those issues with themselves, not you. That's a great point to bring up too. I would think too that if you are not a solopreneur, if you're working for a company and you have types of leaders who are like, I just want this done. I just want you to get it off your plate. Like, you're right. I feel like those are quality issues. And if your company is not producing the best quality or the best service, that's huge. That will directly impact clients coming back to you, you getting contracts or so on. Like, that has to be, to me, that has to be a discussion. If your boss is just like, I just want it done, I don't care what you do, just get it done, and they just keep loading more and more and more on your plate, that's a bigger discussion. I really feel that's a bigger discussion to say, are we in this business to produce quality, or are we just trying to rush through it? It's just a quantity thing? Yes, okay. You guys are good. You guys are adding all sorts of fun comments for me to engage with. Luis makes a good point, and you've learned over time, Tisha, you need to know when to say no. Yep. Yeah, you do. Boundaries are huge. I said that today. I've actually echoed this a couple of times today, but the whole rushing through the process, if I'm fixated on my priorities and I know what my goals are, my realistic goals of what I need to do, it absolutely makes it a lot easier to say, that's not really something I can fit in right now. And it makes walking away that much easier because people are always going to be wanting your time, right? But if you're fixated on, this is what I have to do, and I only have this many hours to do it, and I don't want to rush, and I want to give it my all, then you can really stop and say, you know what? No, that's not what I want to do right now. Like, I'm really, really focused being that operative word, focused on what I need to accomplish. So yeah, great point, Nat. I'm like, Nat, Luis, and Abraham. Like, it's a great point that you brought up. Groovy LA, yes, you guys should connect. He's also a realtor, like I said, Luis. So if you know people in the LA area, then Abraham's your guy. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, 5:04. Thank you so much for hanging with me today on Tisha Talks Live at 4:45. If you guys have any other questions, or if you want to talk more about how not to rush through the process, then let me know. You can always drop me a comment, and I'll check those once we're off. Or if you're watching the replay, awesome to have you. Make sure you shoot me a comment or give me a like, and thanks for watching. All right, have a great week, guys. I'll be back next Wednesday. Thanks.